Akpabio versus Natasha. The gift of shame has taken French leave. I wish you patiently listen to the end of this video so that you understand why the gift of shame has taken French leave owing to this embarrassing case of Akpabio versus Natasha. It will also give you the room to understand what the gift of shame means and why it is an essential ingredient for occupying leadership positions and how it is applicable to Nigeria. I wish you patiently listen to the end. The Kogi Central Senator Natasha Uduaghan was recently suspended by the Nigerian Senate. According to some sources, Senator Uduaghan accused Senate President Akpabio of sexual harassment. Instead of the Senate launching an independent investigation into her claims, the Senate moved swiftly to suspend her in defiance of a court order. Meanwhile, Senator Bamidele Upeyemi, the leader of the Senate, has clarified that Senator Uduaghan was not suspended over her sexual harassment allegation against the Senate President, Akpabio. He explained that the embattled senator was rather suspended only for her misconduct and disregard for the Senate standing orders. Kogi Central Senator Natasha Uduaghan has taken her case to the Inter-Parliamentary Union (IPU), seeking international intervention over her suspension from the Senate. Mrs. Uduaghan addressed delegates at an IPU assembly held at the United Nations headquarters in New York, where she raised allegations of sexual harassment against the Senate President, Akpabio. She also noted that her fight was not just about her, but about Nigerian women in politics who continue to face systematic marginalization and harassment.
Petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here.
Akpabio versus Natasha, gift of shame has taken French leave. French leave is an idiomatic expression that means to leave a place or situation suddenly and without permission. To take a French leave means to leave a place or environment suddenly without permission and often without notice. In the context of Akpabio versus Natasha, the gift of shame is making quick and unceremonious exit from the duo, from both Akpabio and Natasha and the entire National Assembly in Nigeria, as if that gift is so embarrassed to be around anymore. In one of my books titled Heaven is for Politicians, one of the things I noted in chapter 5 of that book is that apart from the gift of wisdom, another indispensable gift to be requested or prayed for by those who seek political office is the gift of shame. Shame, as explained in the Encyclopedia of Religion and Ethics, is an emotion of self-abasement experienced by one who is conscious of acting contrary to or below the standards which he or she approves and by which he or she knows others judge him or her. So even if a politician is imbued with the gift of wisdom, but he or she has no sense of shame, such a person will definitely abuse rather than use the God-given wisdom. That explains why Solomon requested for wisdom, not only to rule with justice, but also to know the difference between good and evil, in order to do good and to avoid evil. In the Old Testament prophecies, The wrath of God fell on the people because of their shamelessness. In the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 6 verses 12 to 15, the word of God says, I'm going to punish the people of this land. In the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 6 verses 12 to 15, the word of God says, among other things, I'm going to punish the people of this land. Everyone, great and small, tries to make money dishonestly. Even prophets and priests cheat the people. They act as if my people's wounds were only scratches. All is well, they say, when all is not well. Were they ashamed because they did these disgusting things? No, they were not at all ashamed. They don't even know how to blush, and so they will fall as others are fallen. When I punish them, that will be the end of them. I, the Lord, have spoken. With particular reference to Nigeria and her leaders, OSA director once noted that the problem of most Nigerian leaders is that they lack an essential ingredient of leadership. Most of them are not imbued with the gift of shame and, of course, principles which go with retentive memory, anchored on a discernible character trait. There is a Bini saying that you never send a child not imbued with the gift of shame to the marketplace, lest he or she disgraces the entire family. Lack of this particular gift of shame causes many who wield political power, especially in Nigeria, to commit the 7 social sins enlisted by Mahatma Gandhi. These sins are politics without principles, wealth without work, pleasure without conscience, knowledge without character, commerce without morality, science without humanity, worship without sacrifice. When political leaders are endowed with the gift of shame, they will certainly be ashamed of being associated with certain abominable crimes, such as money laundering, looting of public treasury, thuggery, election rigging, assassination, kidnapping, sexual harassment, etc. While some of them may indulge in these social ills owing to lack of this gift, the masses die of hunger in the midst of plenty. Unfortunately, in the case of Akpabio versus Natasha, the gift of shame has taken French leave. Unless the gift of shame, which has taken a French leave from the presidency, the National Assembly, the government houses at all levels, religious gatherings, and even in our traditional settings, is urgently requested to return back to our country, Nigeria is about hitting the rock and being embarrassed globally beyond repairs. May the case of Akpabio versus Natasha end up bringing back the gift of shame to our land, and particularly into our leaders, to forestall our reaping further the bitter fruits of global disgrace and unimaginable embarrassment. Thanks for listening.